Controversy has erupted over two recent articles in the media about CCTV footage that shows former Tehelka editor Tarun Tejpal and the young woman he's accused of raping at a Goa hotel. Even though the trial court has barred anyone from seeing that footage or writing about it, a piece in Outlook magazine by journalist Manu Joseph, based on those tapes, has set off a storm. Kashish explains.
I have seen the CCTV footage too, and none of what the girl says about Tarun Tejpal is true. A Facebook post by Bollywood director Anurag Kashyap has once again brought the story of the alleged rape of a young employee by the powerful editor-in-chief of Tehelka, Tarun Tejpal, back into the headlines. His comment quotes Outlook's cover story written by Manu Joseph, which compares the young employee's statement with the CCTV footage, the most controversial piece of evidence from the night of the alleged incident, and analyzes the discrepancies between the two. Nothing in the young woman's body language indicates sexually potent conversation. They're not walking hand in hand. Rather, Tejpal is leading her and she is following him. A similar article by another leading journalist, Seema Mustafa, in the same week goes further and suggests that the young woman's claims simply don't add up. But many have been outraged and complained to the press council that it's an orchestrated campaign, because the footage can't legally be shown to anybody but the defense and the prosecution. And also because they say it maligns the young woman in its attempt to generate public sympathy for Tarun Tejpal. Manu Joseph has responded to the criticism, and I quote, "Journalists did not want to touch the story because it had become toxic. For many, Tejpal was the villain." Kavita Krishnan, who's a leading feminist, also reacted sharply online to Bollywood director Anurag Kashyap, saying, "Mr. Kashyap, you now stand exposed as a common or garden variety misogynist who thinks it's the complainant who's the accused and who is on trial." The trial court hasn't responded to the tapes being circulated, nor has the prosecution complained formally. But notably, the High Court had ruled CCTV footage gives rise to different views and truth will come when there is cross-examination of the victim on her version. In New Delhi, Kashish for NDTV.
Well, that entire article that has appeared in Outlook and the other piece that also appeared in another publication have sparked off a huge row about the ethics of journalism, about this case and whether it was fair for Outlook to have published this. There is also a statement we have from Outlook, which I'll just read out in a moment. But we have senior lawyer Vrinda Grover, who's been closely tracking this case and involved. She's in the studio with us. We have Manu Joseph, the author of that controversial piece, also joining us shortly from Gurgaon. But let me ask Vrinda Grover first, that what is the basic problem with this piece? Because there are many who have read it, who also feel that it is balanced. It does give you all sides of the story, that the media endlessly debated Tarun Tejpal's alleged guilt for a long time on TV. We did it for almost a week every night. And if there is another version, and if there are some inconsistencies or inaccuracies in the girl's story, is it not fair as journalists for us to report that as well? What would you say to that?
I'm not going to go into the merits or demerits of the content of the story. I have a preliminary position to make here, and that position is based on law, and that law is based on certain protections that are required to be given. The law under section 228A of the Indian Penal Code states that the identity of the woman who is complaining of rape cannot be disclosed. This is based on sound principle, because if her identity, her name is disclosed in the public, she is likely to face all kinds of social and other ostracization. This CCTV footage, when handed over to the defense, which it must as part of fair trial, he must get a full opportunity to defend himself in court, was given. And even at that time, I am told, the prosecution had actually said that we are apprehensive that her identity may be disclosed and there may be a miscarriage of justice. The Goa trial court, while handing over the CCTV footage, said that this is not to be circulated. We all know that the CD containing the footage has been taken by family members and perhaps friends of Tarun Tejpal to select identified persons, particularly media personalities, as well as other influential persons in society. And then it is shown. So you have violated.
How do you know that? How do you know?
I have actually received phone calls from very established media persons in Delhi who have called and said that the wife has come to them and shown them the CD. There are social activists who have informed me that the wife has come to them and shown the CD. I am willing to put the list out in public if they are going to stand on oath.
That's a serious accusation you're making, because then she's violated the law.
If
what you say is correct.
She has, and there are others who will have to stand on oath and deny what I am saying. The two articles, Seema Mustafa has gone on record to say she has seen the CCTV footage. Anurag Kashyap has said he has seen the CCTV footage. I have not seen the CCTV footage. We don't have the CCTV footage. It is only the defense which has deliberately violated the law and put this out to certain
so
persons.
let me first ask, let me on this point about the legality, because you're
the other is also a legal proposition.
So but on this particular first point, Manu Joseph, did you see this CCTV footage before you wrote your story? That's very important. Did you see it?
See, you know that I can't answer that question in any specific way, but I can tell you this, that there is a journalistic process that is involved, and it also includes interviews and corroborations. Don't forget, journalists have access to a lot of videos, a lot of audios. It does not mean all these are credible. Ultimately, there is a journalistic process which is involved, which verifies the material through interviews and corroboration, which was done. And nobody is disputing whether the footage which was described was authentic. So I think it's really irrelevant whether I actually saw the footage or not. And you know that I'm going to say that.
Except that, as Vrinda says, it's the law that one second. Yeah, then I'll let him respond. Yeah.
I'm sorry?
No, I just want to say I'm sorry, but that's the law, and therefore it becomes important. My second point is that printing or publishing anything relating to a rape trial that is going on in court has to be done with the permission of the court. I do not know that Outlook or Citizen have taken the requisite permission. So we have not violated the law once. We violated it.
Let him respond. Yes, Manu. Yes.
See, I had taken legal opinion, okay, and not only that, you should remember that when I was doing this story, I spoke to someone on the prosecution side who was aware of the nature of the story, and I reasoned with her why it was important to do the story and do the story this way. And this is the most important fact. I heard Nidhi mention that Anurag Kashyap has said something about this case. I know that a senior journalist has tweeted something. Now, this is what happens when professional journalism abandons a story. A story always exists and it is always searching for a release. Now, when professional journalism abandons a story, you will have social media making irresponsible statements. Would you want a filmmaker making a statement? See, I'm not blaming him. He just reacted the way an average individual would after watching something perhaps once, you know. But when a professional journalist takes his reputation on telling a story, it has a very different texture. Okay, that's why I would urge Vrinda Grover not to
my question is, Vrinda says, and this is a very important point, and as others have also been alleging, that this footage is being circulated by Mr. Tejpal's friends and his family, to journalists as well, and to others in Delhi and in Mumbai and other cities, and it's going around. Who's circulating this footage? Do you know?
I have no idea, okay, but I can tell you this, and I would like to have Vrinda's opinion. Some details of the footage are also available in the High Court order denying bail to Mr. Tejpal. More details are available in the submission of the defense counsel. I'm not arguing with her. I just want to know her opinion.
Okay, Vrinda, quick response.
You're absolutely right. There would be in fact, the law very categorically says that publication of the judgment, publication of court orders is legal and legitimate. The difficulty here is that we are not doing a story. This is a real case. There are rights involved of people. There is a person here who's trying to seek justice. And the reason why the law gives these protections is because there is a high likelihood of discrimination and prejudice being caused to the woman, as well as a miscarriage of justice. So I do not want to go into whether he spoke to X or didn't speak to Y. Why does the law exist in the first place? Whether the court, yes, the court would obviously describe what the arguments are. That would be the nature of the order. However, for everyone who is selected,
in this context, I want to raise
may I just finish what I'm saying? To ask certain people, and they are pre-selected persons, to see the footage, just like Anurag Kashyap has been shown, there is a purpose. This is to avoid the court decision. It is to build a certain kind of public perception. And mind you, I want to reiterate, this is none of the footage pertains to the space, the physical space of the lift. And yet people are tweeting and writing whether rape has happened or not.
Manu Joseph, I come to one of the most serious charges that the network of women in media in their complaint have made about your piece to the press council, which is that they are disturbed by these articles by senior journalists that appear to be part of an orchestrated campaign to prejudice the case. Now, when I read your piece, there are a couple of things. Let me just say
objection.
You take objection to that. I just want to point out two parts of your piece that I found a little problematic. One was about the fingertips SMS that Tarun Tejpal sent to the young woman, where you said, it seemed to be editorializing, that maybe it was sent by a drunken man who thought he was flirting.
No, you're wrong. No, I have to interject right now. You're wrong.
It's there in your piece.
You're wrong.
I have the magazine here.
No, you're wrong. That's not what the story says.
It's one of the options
That's
you've
not
given.
what the story says. No. No, I don't agree with you. So why are you mentioning just one option?
No, I'm pointing out to you 2 or 3 places that I found problematic, which I'm asking you about. You said the message was either sent by a foolish rapist who after his crime was implicating himself through an SMS to a competent journalist, or by a drunken man who thought he was flirting. What does that mean?
Yes.
And please
let him
help us understand foolish rapist.
Okay, do
Can
answer.
you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, it's that part of the story which is actually very significant, because the young woman in question is talking to 3 of her friends who are in their hotel room, and they clearly find her very dejected and disturbed, and she gets an SMS at that time, and they are the witness, because I've spoken to two of them. And they were there when she got the SMS, and they are privy to her immediate reaction. It's an important moment.
But why would you call him a foolish rapist or a drunken man?
Wait. So I was analyzing this text message, okay, which was either sent. The story clearly states, okay, it was either sent by a man who was implicating himself to a person, a very competent journalist, who was fully aware of the interaction between law and rape and society, okay, or okay, it was sent by a drunken man who was flirting. The story does not make a judgment. The story does not make a categorical statement at all. It is a misreading of the story.